on Twitter is known as Rain Coaster, and you probably recognize that logo as her avatar. And I'm going to turn the floor over to her for a good 30 minutes here, and let's give her a hand up.
My topic is creativity and blogging. Presumably all of you are creative and all of you are bloggers, otherwise you're in the wrong room. I came to blogging basically because I'm a writer, and I was telling people I'm a writer, and they were saying, well, what have you written lately? Oh yeah, there's that. I have to actually write. So the good thing about a blog for creativity is the urgency, because this puppy needs to be fed quite regularly. I haven't fed this particular one in a few days, but I have 5 that I post to pretty much daily, and you can't run dry when you have that many to fill. So what I did was I got myself a copy of The Artist's Way for Writers. Some of you probably heard of The Artist's Way. It's a life journey to creativity kind of thing. It's a foofy West Coast thing, but it has a lot of good exercises in it. And if you perform the exercises, you will never run out of material. And, oops, let me just, whoops, that's where I want to go. If you're online at all, you will run across far more good stuff than you can ever blog in a million years. And this is where you stick it. I would have been lost on Blogathon. Blogathon was 49 posts in 24 hours. And I would not have been able to do it if I did not have my Tumblr. Tumblr is a rotten blogging platform. It sucks. But for scrapbooking, it's the best thing on earth. So every time I see something that I go, I want to come back to that. I have my little share on Tumblr button, you can see there. Oops. And you just click it and bang, here, I'm going to share my Tumblr on Tumblr. So you click the button, up pops this. It says, hey, there's the name, Rain Coaster, which is the name of my Tumblr, which is the name of my everything. And you can make little notes in here, hey. And create post advanced. You can get fancy with it, add tags, all of that stuff. I don't bother tagging because this is just for me. I don't care if it has no Google visibility. It's just a tool. But now if I refresh it and go to the top of the page, I should have it linked to me. There I am. So that's how simple it is. This is Firefox. I think it works on IE too. Just put the little button in there. I had to start this because people were complaining about my Facebook page. It was getting 40 or 50 posts a day. Let's go back to Rain Coaster. So there I was, and I had a blog, and now I had to fill it. And that went well off the top of my head for the first few days until I ran out of stuff to say. This was before Tumblr was invented, you see. Well, I found it was actually driving me out of the house to go find something to write about. And so in that way, the blog actually became life-changing. I would sit there and it would be 10 o'clock at night and I'd be, damn, I have nothing to say. I live on the downtown east side. If I go walking for 2 blocks, I'm going to find something to blog about. So I would look at the door, and the dogs knew. As soon as I looked at the door at 10 o'clock at night, they're like, oh, we're going out. Excellent. So they'd run and get the leash, and I'd grab the leash, and off we'd go, and like an hour later I'd come back. And I set myself a minimum of 200 words a day. Now, a really readable length for blog posts is 200 to 250 words. There are people who write lots more. There are people who feel guilty if they don't get 1,000 words a day. Those people are crazy. Well, prolific. They're prolific. But 200 words a day is not intimidating. Anybody can do 200 words a day. And I teach people who have English as a second or third or fourth language. And the 200 words at first feels a little hard, but by the end of 3 weeks, they're doing 250 to 350 words some days. Some days they'll do 1,000. as long as they get their little minimum in there, and they get better at it. As soon as you connect with it, this is what I like about WordPress. This is why I always teach blogging on WordPress. WordPress doesn't pay me, but it's so intuitive. It's the easiest platform to use. I can see people in the class about 3 hours in to blogging for beginners. Like, these people have barely experienced email. And about 3 hours in, they get so that they're connecting with the content that they're writing, or the picture that they're posting, whatever it is that they're putting in their blog. That's what they're connecting with. And they're not seeing all the buttons, and they're not seeing the software. And that's why I like WordPress. It's more transparent. It's easier for you to connect with the creativity that you're putting out there. I'm going to give you some examples of creativity. And I'm not going to show you mine because I'm not very creative. Let's see if you can find it. No, I'll find it over here. Damn, it was saved. Let's go to the Wayback Machine. No, I'll just talk about it. This was a blog. Shimura House was a blog that I sort of became addicted to. It was a soap opera. It was a group blog by all of these people who lived together in a house. And they loathed one another. It was fun to read. Bobby drank all the milk in the fridge again. I did not. Yes, you did. And they would have arguments back and forth in the blog. And one of them had a crush on another one, and someone else ratted her out. It's like, someone had a crush on you. Oh, awkward. And I found out after about 18 months of reading this blog that it was one person with multiple personalities who was using this blog to communicate with her other selves. And I think that's the most creative thing I've ever seen in the blogging world.
Not a movie plot.
It's a movie plot. She, at the end of it, she closed the blog eventually, and she said, look, I'm getting some flack in the comments, and this is what I want you to understand. This is the way I am. We're fine with it. We don't all get along, but we can cope with it, and we don't drop communications. When one of the personalities is experiencing something, the other personalities won't have that memory. So she was leaving notes for herself through this blog. And she said, this is the way we handle this, and it works really well for us, and I don't need your opinion that I need fixing. And I thought, well, damn, you know, she's pretty self-actualized for somebody who's 8 people. That was really, really quite cool, and it was humbling to me because normally we would say that that person had a handicap. She was somehow not as capable as other people, but holy crap, she was way more capable. She invented an entire communication system. I've never seen anything as creative as that, and as positive. I mean, it helped her work through all of her problems,